Welcome to Ask and Learn.
For this problem, we are given some background information, but what matters to us is that one manufacturer has developed a quantitative index of the sweetness of orange juice, and we are asked, is there a relationship between the sweetness index and a chemical measure of or such as the amount of water-soluble pectin in the orange juice? We have that data collected on these two variables during 24 production runs at a juice manufacturing plant are shown in the table, which I have recreated here. We're told to suppose a manufacturer wants to use a simple linear regression to predict the sweetness from the amount of pectin. In part A, we are asked to find the least squares line for the data. Now, I'm doing this all in Excel. Presumably, you would have some sort of statistical software that is the standard for your class, but doing these sorts of calculations by hand is simply impractical and not something that any actual statistician would ever be expected to do. Doing it using software is going to be a much more meaningful thing to learn. So, to find our least squares line, there are a few different things we can do. One way would be to, now first I'll put up little labels M and B because that is where we'll get our sort of outputs from what I'm about to do. We'll put in equals lin est, or lines t alternatively, then open comma, then we want to select, or open bracket rather, then we want to select our y values. You can see we have known y's, so that would be the sweetnesses. So we select all of those. Then our known x's, so we have, that is not what we want. We don't want the runs, we want the amount of pectin. So we select those. Then do we want a non-zero y-intercept? Yes, so true. And then stats is false. So we get that m equals negative 0.00231 and b equals 6.252068. In part B, we are asked to interpret the beta naught and beta 1 in the words of the problem. So I am going to make a little text box here. I'll merge across, or actually no, yeah, I want merge in center. Anyways, create a little text box and I'll just type in here and I'll make sure to specify that I want to wrap text. So for beta naught equals 6.252068 from our output, that would mean that when pectin equals 0, sweetness is 6.252 approximately. And then for our m value, for m equals negative 0.00231, oops, 0.00231, that implies that when pectin is increased by 1 ppm, then sweetness is decreased by 0.00231 units. In part C, we are asked to predict the sweetness index if the amount of pectin in the orange juice is 300 ppm. Now, there are a few different ways we could do this. We could use the prediction from the M and B we've found previously. Another way we could do this, using Excel at least, would be equals, then forecast, linear. It says calculates or predicts a future value along a linear trend line by using existing values. So we put in our desired X value, which is 300. Then our known Y values, which was the sweetness, or were the sweetnesses, and then our known X values, which were the pectin amounts, and we get the prediction of 5.55888 there. Alternatively, we could calculate this like a ordinary formula. So that would be equal to 6.252068 plus m is itself negative, so that would turn into a negative, times 300, which returns the same result.